YouTube Joe here with a long overdue review of the Ontario Carter Prime. Now if you recall, back in August I did a I guess it was a preview or an unboxing of it, and I was all, you know, like a kid, what is it, a kid in a candy store, all happy to get it. And I've had a lot of pocket time since then, to the last 2 months. I mean, in between other knives, but I believe of all the knives, this one's had probably the most pocket time. And I want to go over some of my findings with you. So I'm going to throw some stats on the screen now. You'll see them scrolling up. I'll probably bring up some of the stats during the conversation. Well, during the review. Well, I might as well go over it right now really quick. The blade is a 3.4 inches, and it's a D2 steel Stonewash, or I guess it's a Stonewash DLC coating. Let's make sure we get that nice and focused in there. Titanium scales, lock bar. I mean, frame lock, not lock bar. I got lock bar on the brain. Titanium pocket clip, back spacer. It's a Wharncliffe blade. We're going to measure it up and weigh it as well. Let's see, let's bust out the trusty dollar. And the ruler, there it is against the dollar. If you know any of my videos, you know I like to measure it against things that you know, and a dollar is something that everybody knows. Here it is against the ruler. Another of, which I mentioned in my first video, another of Robert Carter's creations, I'll put right next to it. It is the, which I had handy and now I can't find, oh there it is, the CRKT Jettison. So let's line that up. There it is against the Jettison. Now we're going to cut with it, but I have cut with it considerably. But I'm going to show you it cutting on camera. It hasn't, I haven't sharpened it at all, so I'm going to talk about it. Still holds a pretty good edge. Goes for about, I guess, $99 pretty much everywhere. Let me show you around it a little bit. The top. No back spacer. I mean, no lanyard hole, not no back spacer. Excuse me. See if we can get all that in there. It's a little bit, it is all in there. So, some of my positives and negatives. Well, first of all, I like the overall look of it. I was a big fan of when I saw this come out. I was waiting for it to come out in a satin, but still the wait continues, and no satin anywhere in the near future. I decided to get the you know, the only offering they have. So let me go over some things I've noticed about it as I've had it. First of all, well, let's go over some positives and everything. There is no blade play, at least none that I can feel of any. It is decently sharp, and it does flip really nicely. I believe it has a ball bearing, though I'm not sure 100% if it's IKBS ball bearing, but it is a ball bearing pivot, and it does open very smoothly. All right, so some negatives that I have experienced over the last 2 months. Let's go backwards since we just were on the pivot. It even though it opens smoothly, the lock, there's a little bit of lock bar stick. I find myself, I can feel it sticking, and this is over some considerable use already, and it still sticks. As I showed you, or as I mentioned in my first video, I initially said that I could see one shortcoming is that because the flipper, it goes down, it doesn't leave much room for your hand to grip the knife, and what accentuates that is that it doesn't have a lanyard hole. So no lanyard hole to put a lanyard that would be a good idea. So you got that little extra space to hold on to something, but it doesn't give it to you. So you're anybody with a large size hands, I would almost probably say you're probably not going to buy this knife, because it forces you to go down and hold it down here. Now, yes, you could conceivably hold it up here, but I would advise against it, because you could, slip and then cut yourself. So with no lanyard, that kind of hurts this design. And then because of obviously the design, because the design of this knife is basically over Robert Carter's knife called the Generalist. And this looks very much like that. If I have a picture, I'll throw it in the bottom when this video is processed. I'll throw it down there. But it doesn't have any kind of like finger choil or any kind of indent here for you to get your finger. And if it did, you might be able to get a better grip on it. Now, I'm not saying the grip is terrible, and like I said, I've been using it, but I do find myself, I wish it could either be the knife be just a little bit longer on the scales, or if this could be redesigned somewhat. Now, I mentioned a lock bar stick. Now, as you can see, the lockup is over 50%, and that's already over just 2 months of use, and that's what causes you have to have that extra pull to get to close the knife. With a little bit of stick accompanying with it. So that's a negative too, but it's nothing that terrible. I don't want to turn around and say potential buyers of this knife to turn around and say, "Oh my God, I'm not going to get it now." It's not that terrible. The detent is good. It's when it's closed, it's closed. It's not going anywhere. One thing I've heard reviewers mention about the font. Now, I have no problem with the font. I just don't understand why most people, when they have a knife made in Taiwan, they don't want the word Taiwan written in big letters like that on the knife. Why couldn't they just stick it really dinky, like right over here? I don't know. I don't mind it saying OKC on one side or Carter Prime on the other side, but you really want to bust out your knife and have Taiwan written in high letters like that? I don't know. So not really a big negative, but just something to point out. The pocket clip is cool. It's functional. It gives. It also looks like it doubles as a over travel. The knife does have. I mentioned its titanium scales. I don't know if I can show you this on the. It does have a lock bar insert, not your typical one where it's on the inside, where it's connected on the inside. There's nothing that shows on the outside that that has a lock bar, which I thought was pretty cool. The centering, I had no problem with the centering, even after use and brand new. It was the centering is pretty much dead on. So overall, it goes for I think I mentioned this before, like $99 everywhere. It's a good value. The knife is pretty sharp, but like I said, there are these little nagging things. Oh, here's another one I almost forgot. As you open it, because the edges are really hard edges, this corner right here, that's a hot spot, because as you can see, look, I'm going to show you. You're not going to see the knife open, but as if I was opening it, you could see how it digs right into your hand, and you can feel that. It's a little bit annoying. See, you can see the edge. What's the word? Chamfered? It's not chamfered. I can't think of that damn word. But if those edges were rounded off, it'd probably be a heck of a lot better. But again, he was following his custom design of the Generalist, and this pretty much follows that same look. I mean, I'm having I don't want to say a love-hate relationship with this knife, but a love-dislike relationship. I like it a lot, but there are some nagging things, and I just mentioned all those nagging things. But I'm overcoming the nagging things. I wound up keeping it and not sending it back. Initially, I was torn between the two, and then I wound up keeping it. And then when I decided to keep it, that's when I decided to cut with it and start using it. Nice knife. Some negatives, some I could overlook. My hands are medium. I don't want to say medium. Large hands, but I'm not going to say extra large. And I deal with the knife, holding it the way I have to hold it. There it is in the hand. The the corner is the only hot spot. So when you're holding it, and other than the flipper pushing you down, there is no other hot spot. Like there is no problem with the clip. So this one's a tough one because I like to usually end my reviews with saying, "Oh, you definitely got to get this," or "Oh, this one should be avoided." This one's tough because like I said, I'm overlooking the negatives because I dig the look of it, and it has been useful, it has been sharp, it has been cutting things, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess you have to. This one I'm going to leave up to you. You have to weigh. You have to go over some of the positives and negatives that I gave you, and see if the negatives are not so bad and the positives over, like, they outdo the negatives, and that would be something to whether you're going to decide to buy it or not. So check out my check out my review. I mean my initial thoughts on this, and then compare after I've had it for 2 months. Let me know what you think of the Carter Prime. I'm curious to see if they're going to have any future incarnations of this knife, like, maybe change the blade steel, or maybe do some differences like some of the negatives I pointed out. I don't know. So there you have it. The Robert Carter Prime from Ontario Knife Company. $99 everywhere. $99 everywhere. I don't know why I said it like that. Like I had something extra to say after it. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care. God bless. And have a nice day. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed my video. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks everyone. Take care.